Sure.
I thought maybe I can make this into a career.
Okay.
You know, if I put my mind to it, and if I take enough time and be patient, I can do it.
You had a period of anxiety.
Yeah.
As so have I.
I mean, I was digging deeper into an anxiety hole. And then I got a girlfriend. I didn't want to be the kind of boyfriend, you know, that didn't do anything. The more you do something, the more you'll get used to it. And it's not that scary in the end.
My timeline flow like a fine wine, smelling like fine pine. Yeah, is this the end or just the beginning? Am I losing the winning? Is this reality or am I pretending? I'm Cain and Abel.
And we are live. Hi, Freddie.
Hi, Santi.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
This is an absolute pleasure.
Likewise.
I'm absolutely looking forward to this.
Yes.
Okay, Freddie, tell the people who are you and what do you do? What are you about?
So I am what they call an editor. Usually they keep me locked up in a room, but today is my day. I get to come out of my cage and present myself.
That's very kind of the team to let you out and
lovely.
Show who you actually are. Yeah.
So I make all the videos behind the scenes. Yeah. I edit them.
You can take all the credit.
Absolutely. No. Everything from pre-production. No, I just do the post-production.
Yeah, so. Fair enough. Go on, Freddie. What was the first thing that got you into... I don't know why you're laughing here, mate.
I don't know either.
It's the nerves.
It's the nerves, yeah.
Okay, we're going to be completely honest here.
This is our third take.
We've been sitting here for about 10 minutes and we haven't stopped laughing. But we've been having a good time. Maybe we'll make a blooper reel out of it or something. But I'm
going to blame it on Santi's new coffee machine.
Yeah, so I've had 3 coffees and slightly alert.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, maybe if we can channel it correctly.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Should we get down to serious business?
Yeah. So the question was, when did I start?
Yeah, when did you start filmmaking? What was the thing that brought you into this whole world?
Yeah, no. So when I was 11 years old, we started making videos with a
webcam, and it was stop motion videos.
Yeah.
What kind of videos were we making? What got you into stop motion specifically?
Well, so we were looking on YouTube and we saw these guys making really cool stop motion videos there. Yeah. And we just wanted to copy that and do the same thing.
So what kind of stop motion videos were they making?
So really just random ones, like we'd film our sounds kind of funny, but our socks.
Socks?
Yeah. Like we'd have this webcam and we'd put the webcam on the ground filming like socks and we'd make the socks move along. And yeah, it was really primitive. All on Windows Movie Maker.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. 99.
Yeah, very good. So did you make a lot of these or is this just like a one-off video?
No, we made a series of them, not just of the socks. We had a variety of different videos. But the socks were our most popular one. Yeah, so that's the one I mentioned. That one.
Were you posting these on YouTube?
Yeah, but no one really. I mean, popular amongst the family. Not popular on YouTube.
I thought you were going to say, "Oh yeah, I've had a viral video with 10 million views of socks running around our house or something."
I mean, it had all the ingredients, but
didn't quite take off.
No.
So you made a lot of these. Was that it? Did you just kind of like stop making videos for a while?
No. So I mean that kind of. So I found that I really had a passion for
socks.
That too. I love a good pair of socks. But no, I have a passion, or found out that I had a passion for the technical side of filmmaking. So setting up the camera, all the editing side and everything. I was really into all of that. So then
during these videos that you were making at 11, you're saying,
yeah. So I started like enjoying that kind of putting all these effects on, like the star transition in Windows Movie Maker. Everybody remembers that.
I don't think I never used Movie Maker.
Really? Okay. Well, if you go on YouTube and search any video from 2008, it'll have one of those transitions in there. So then that translated into me buying a DSLR later on when I was about 15. And I used to make just really random videos. I didn't care so much about the filming.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but what I was really looking forward to was kind of sitting down on my computer and editing the clips that I got.
So 11 to 15.
Yeah.
Was there ever a gap that you'd stop making things, or
No,
you were just constantly making stuff?
Yeah. I think I filmed. I mean, there were periods, like a few months, where I wouldn't film anything, but at least
of course.
it's
pretty constant then.
Yeah. I
And
never thought about it that way, but yeah, I guess.
between the webcam and the DSLR,
Yeah.
was there any upgrade, or was it constant webcamming the whole way through?
Well, no. So the webcam. I mean, we upgraded webcams a few times. Yeah,
that's good.
But yeah, I had a Sony flip camera thing. It wasn't very good.
Compact camera kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of a holiday camera. Then my dad bought a holiday family digital camera, and it had HD. So that was the jump to HD. And then I jumped to DSLR because there were people on YouTube said buy a DSLR, so that's what I did.
Yeah, and obviously for anyone who doesn't already know, you're Julian's younger brother,
but better.
Of course. The
2.0.
The 2.0.
Yeah.
So at this point, were you more into filmmaking than Julian, would you say? Because he obviously in his podcast, he's told us that he got into it really at university.
Yeah. So if I compare it to Julian, he was more into art. He liked to draw a lot.
Did his portraits, of course.
Yeah. He, ever since he was a kid, he drew like paintings and stuff, but he started off drawing clowns.
That's quite a strange thing to start off
Which,
painting.
in fact, is a trait of a psychotic killer. No, we're going to cut that.
We're not cutting that out. That's absolutely staying.
No, he's not psychotic. Anyway, so he was really into his art and everything, and I guess he got interested much later on at university because he started making videos about his art at university. And that's how he kind of started his video thing.
So you were there first. He copied you.
I mean, I'm not even going to go into that because everybody knows
Everyone
already.
knows.
So, no. I guess I started first. Yeah.
Okay, so did you graduate from stop motion films? Because you're saying that you obviously you I assume you have. I'm just like, what kind of things were you then making then?
What do you mean? Did I like move on from?
Well, yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, because obviously you bought your DSLR. And you were doing all of that.
So after the stop motion, I mean, we didn't only do stop motion with the webcam. We would do other random things, but they're just kind of experimenting with sound effects and stuff like that. So when I guess I moved on, I would just film my friends doing just random stuff, hanging out or whatever. They were really boring videos. They weren't that entertaining, and just a lot of other videos just messing about with my stepbrother. Just kind of whenever we'd go somewhere, I'd film it and just kind of make a montage of what we did, and then I'd film friends at school, just kind of doing.
Just general personal projects.
Just really random,
Nothing
videos.
too serious.
No. Yeah.
Right, so at what point did it get a bit more serious for you then?
Well, I always, when I was about, I think maybe 18, I thought maybe I can make this into a career, but I had never thought about it until then, that it could be a career. No one had really told me that I could make a career out of it. So I only thought about it when I was 18, when I moved to America. And
wait, before America, you were living in France, right?
In France, yeah.
And then at 18,
I moved to America.
Okay.
Yeah. And so in America, this nightclub that I used to go to needed a video. And I told them that I liked filming, and they said, yeah, sure. Well, why don't you make one for us?
Okay.
And they didn't pay me anything.
Yeah.
But I saw an opportunity there.
Yeah.
That I could film videos for people.
What an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And they all started from there. Yeah.
So that was the first thing that kind of gave you a thought that, okay, something a bit interesting here, could make a bit of a career out of it. Was there anything close to that or afterwards that started becoming a bit more serious? Or
well, not really, because at the time I was 18 and I wasn't really interested in making money. I was more interested in going out and drinking and having a good time. When it, I guess, really got serious when I was about 21.
okay.
I decided to go, 22. I decided to go back to college to do a film degree.
In America or UK?
In the UK. So I came back to, it's confusing. So I left the States when I was about 21, and I came back to the UK to study film at college. And that's when I thought, this is definitely what I want to do. And more specifically editing. I knew at that point that I wanted to get into editing.
So what were you doing in America between that time?
Not much.
Okay.
Not much. I was supposed to be at university,
but
you would not find me there.
No.
So yeah, not a lot.
So you're having a bit too much of a good time at the time.
Yeah, we can say it like that.
What were you meant to be studying at uni?
General studies. So it was just English, math, and yeah.
Did you kind of just not feel very kind of inspired by anything at that time? And
I mean, I was inspired by things.
Okay.
I just wasn't in a mindset that, this is what I want to do I wasn't thinking about career inspiration. I was just thinking about, stuff that inspired me at the time was very different to like what inspires me now. Like I'm more inspired to do good at work and different. But back then it was more like, I would watch YouTube videos and YouTubers and stuff like that making videos, and that was very inspiring to me. So I was making kind of videos similar to theirs, but I wasn't inspired to make a career out of it.
Yeah, because the other thing, as we know, you also were really into music production.
Yeah.
Was that it during time in America?
No, so that started when I was in France. I had
even before.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was, I learned how to play the guitar when I was about 12. So I started kind of playing an instrument when I was around that age. And then when I was about 15, 16, I got into electronic music, and I had a kind of an electronic duo going on with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
We weren't very good, but we had a lot of fun kind of trying to make songs, electronic music, house music, stuff like that.
But you did that for a fair while.
Yeah, it was kind of it was a hobby. It was just something I did for fun. It wasn't anything, I was never really good at it. But
I disagree. I've heard a couple of your tunes and I quite enjoy them.
Well,
but no, I guess my point on there is that like it's still kind of similar sort of genre as video editing. It's like it's clear that you like creating stuff and
I like the technical sides of things. So I like playing around with stuff, within a computer, artistically. So I'm not. No, that's not artistically.
I think I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's just like you like fiddling with stuff and making it look cool.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like
I like the. I was gonna say knobs, like how do you say it? The
tweaking.
I like tweaking things. I like
it's experimenting.
Yeah, experimenting. With softwares and stuff like that.
Sure.
Programs.
So, you moved back to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these things that you're doing, and at what point did you start becoming more focused on it? Really?
Yeah, when it really started getting a bit more serious is when I started doing some internships. I did one for not internship, work experience. I did one for Twickenham Film Studios in Twickenham. It's in the name.
Was this your idea to apply to these?
Yeah, no. I went. At Twickenham, I was quite lucky because they're in demand.
Okay.
And I live in that area. I applied for a job at a coffee shop next to the studio, and the owner of the coffee shop saw that I was interested in film, and her daughter was working at Twickenham Film Studios at the time.
Is this just by speaking?
Yeah. Yeah. And so she introduced me to her daughter, and yeah.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't necessarily like you started looking for jobs
there.
At the time.
Well, I was looking for a normal job so I could,
make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess at that time you still weren't 100% sure about what direction to really go in.
No,
right?
I didn't know. I knew where I wanted to go. I didn't know how to get there.
Yeah. Sure.
I didn't know. I knew what I wanted to do, but just didn't know who to talk to.
Okay, so at that time you've come back. You're working in a coffee shop. When you say you knew what you wanted to do, were you like, I want to do video editing 100%, or was it?
Yeah, I knew I preferred video editing, but I didn't know for sure that video editing is what I really wanted to do.
You wanted to do something in the film industry, of some sort.
Yeah, and so I did that internship.
Wait, one second.
Are you digging deep?
I'm digging deep,
Okay.
Fred. So, at what point? Because as you said, like you're in America. Was it in America? Like, what was the point where you were like, right, okay, I want to do this as a career? Because obviously you're saying you were having a good time. You weren't taking things too seriously in America.
Yeah.
What was the point where you were like, right, okay,
like 100%? I'm going to focus
not about necessarily 100%, but you're like
99%.
Okay, you just have that feeling inside of you that kind of switches, and you're like, I need to sort myself out here.
Yeah, I think when I went back to college and and
in America,
no, in the UK, when I went back, came back to study film at creative media studies.
But this was after your internship, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like when I was doing the internship, I was like, I want to work in film, but I wasn't like, I guess, 100% sure that, okay, this is right for me. I was just testing out the kind of the waters.
It kind of came about to you, which was quite nice, because you spoke about it to people and you obviously had an interest in it. But as you say, you didn't know that still it was 100% a career you could get into. So I assume you do this internship in the Twickenham thingy. What's it called? The internship. You do this internship, and is it Twickenham Studios?
Yeah, Twickenham Studios.
And then I guess you start to learn a bit more about how this can potentially go
so
forward.
Surprisingly, I was really disappointed with, I don't know if I want to say that actually, with Twickenham Studios. I was a bit disappointed. Well, okay, no, actually, I can say it. At Twickenham Studios, it wasn't really for me because I was a runner at the studio, and so I wasn't working with any film crew or anything. It was just the studio renting out spaces for film people who were doing stuff at the studio. So
when we say films, what kind of films were they doing?
Well, Hollywood films. So it's like big production.
Big production films. Yeah.
I mean, we'd see like celebrities coming in and out, and it was pretty cool. But I didn't really. I was just going around the studio, and it was more of a. I was learning studio management, which that's not what I wanted to do. How to set up an office for a team or whatever. That was not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't something that inspired you at the time.
But I did get to talk to people who were in the film industry, and it was interesting to what they had to say, really. Okay, so what kind of people did you speak to that kind of piqued your interest? The costume designers were really funny.
Really?
Yeah, no, they were really out there.
Was that more that you got on with them, not necessarily you wanted their jobs or what they were doing?
No, they were just really nice people. So I guess the guy that I was really that really made me curious about or kind of pursuing this as a career, I guess, was the sound guy.
Yeah.
Again, I like the technical side of things, and I had made music before, and so I had a chat with the sound guy.
It sounds very technical.
Yeah.
Did I make a joke there? I don't know what was
I talked to the sound guy. It was like, sounds technical.
I'm very funny. I didn't even mean it.
So he was he was the Foley guy.
Sure.
Do you know what Foley is?
I do. Sound design.
Okay.
A little bit of...
And so he was talking about his job, and I thought it was really cool what he did, and just, he just stands in a dark room all day and makes weird noises, Yeah, I was like, that is something that I would like to do, maybe.
I guess that's the first time you've seen anyone do any kind of real video editing of any sort.
Yeah, sound editing or anything.
Getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
making a living out of it, yeah.
So what was the transition from there to applying to college and studying it?
So I was thinking, I didn't have a degree in anything.
Sure.
So I felt a bit naked in terms of that. So I thought it'd be a good idea if I had something. And now that I kind of knew what I wanted to do, and I was trying to find the way to get to what I wanted to do, I just thought might as well go to college and see what I can make of it.
Was it media you went to study? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, well, creative media. So
it
was. We did pretty much everything: camera work, video editing, sound editing, even design. History of film as well. So anything to do with film we studied.
And what did you take out of that, would you say?
The biggest takeaway from there was that we had assignments. So we had to make videos for class.
Sure.
And when I made my videos, first of all, I'd get really good marks on it, grades or whatever.
No big deal.
No big deal. It's just...
Came naturally.
It was, Yeah, so I got really good marks on these films that I was making, which was, it was really cool. You can get good marks. But the thing that kind of really made me... not doubt myself or stop doubting myself about what I wanted to do.
Give you a bit of confidence.
And kind of cement me into okay, this is what I want to do, is all the teachers there were, saying that I was really good with a camera, I was really good at editing. My video editing teacher said that he was really impressed with, everything. And it was and my family and friends, all the stuff that I made. So
you're getting a lot of encouragement, basically.
Yeah. And so it was a real big boost.
How long was this course that you did?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
So you did 2 years. You really enjoyed it. Did you really enjoy it? I don't know. I've just put words in my mouth.
So the filming, I would always get really stressed out a lot about, have I got the settings right? Have I got the focus right? And the pressure from, the people you're filming for. And it would always really stress me out. Even when I was filming for myself, if I would go on holiday and I would start filming stuff, I would think too much about the technical stuff. Because I said I love technical stuff, but I guess when I'm editing, I can sit back and think about it, and I'm not like, okay, I've got to get this shot because otherwise the sun's going to go, or I'm with people and they want to leave and I'm holding them back and stuff like that. So
I get that. So when you're shooting, you're very in the moment. There's time pressure, whereas
editing, there is still some time pressure.
It's different.
Yeah, but it's just you're at home, go make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and kind of chill out,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything else from college that you really started to understand about yourself, or was it?
It might sound really stupid, but I always thought, so this is more of a creative challenge. This is not really much to, I guess it has a bit to do with editing, but I always thought that I didn't know how to draw. Sure. Some people, you look at them and like Julian, he's like, he draws really well. Like ever since he was a kid, he drew like really well. Yeah.
Clowns, as you said.
Yeah. But
it was a weird belief inside you. I've kind of had that before.
Yeah. It's like, so I always thought like, okay, I can't draw. And so in an assignment we had to draw up some characters for like this video game thing that we were making in Flash. Sure. So I had to draw up a character, and the teacher gave us some helpful tools to learn how to draw if you're not confident drawing. And I drew a wizard, and he was a really cool wizard.
A wizard Harry.
You're a wizard Harry. He was, I can't remember what his name was, but something the blue, because he was blue.
It wasn't Harry.
It wasn't Harry.
Oh, what a shame.
He's a fake wizard.
Yeah.
Hogwarts called. They want their letter back. And so I drew this wizard, and I was really proud of him because it was really well done. I mean, I was really, happy with it.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, I can draw.
Okay.
If I put my mind to it, and if I take enough time and be patient, I can do it. So that was a creative step in my mind, is that I always had these kind of mental blocks, creatively, like, oh, I can't do this because, but why can't you do it? There's no...
Why do you think you could do it in that moment then?
I didn't think I could do it. It just happened. What, drawing the wizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just happened. I was just practicing, and I didn't think I could. I had to do it for the assignment, so I didn't think I could.
So you're saying previously
I thought I couldn't.
You just didn't even bother trying
to draw
properly.
Yeah, I would just draw smiley faces, and that was about it.
Has that affected your life today in any way?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, it's just going to sound silly, but in a way, it kind of removed a small creative barrier that, just because you think you can't do it doesn't mean you...
Yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, is there any specific examples?
It's not creatively, but when I went to the States, I got a bit chubby. And so when I came back, I always wanted to lose a few pounds. And I always thought, no, I can't do it because I don't have the determination or the, and
that's what you used to think of yourself in the States, basically.
Yeah. I didn't have any
self-belief, I guess.
Yeah,
in that area. Sure.
Yeah, in that area. It's like, I can't do it because I'm too lazy or whatever. Or I'd try and I'd give it a go for a week and then give up. But then I went on diets and stuff and started exercising regularly, and then I lost that weight, and that was like, oh, this is something else I can do that I thought previously oh, you can't do it because whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly. No, it shows how mindset is just
everything.
Yeah, no, it has such a big influence. Did college help you at all in how to approach getting into the industry, really?
That wasn't a big takeaway for me. I mean, we had days where people that worked in the film industry came to the college and kind of explained how they got around and stuff. So I guess, but I didn't take,
You weren't feeling confidently.
Yeah, no, about finding a job. I mean, I was confident in my skills, but I still didn't know how to kind of break in the film industry.
So what were your first moves?
Yeah, no, I didn't do anything.
Right, okay.
For the, I think, first year after.
Were you working at all?
Nope.
I think you can talk about you had a period of anxiety.
Yeah.
As so have I, which we'll probably talk about more on my podcast. But
we'll break that shell.
Yeah, mental health is also very important. Yeah, so I think you had a period of anxiety, and I think that's kind of
mental crisis.
That was something you were struggling with.
Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty rough. I didn't know. I don't know how to talk about it.
It's good. I think it's just good to talk about it and just be very I don't see it. It shouldn't be a big deal.
No, I mean it definitely is. I mean it was a big deal for me, but it's not a big deal to talk about it and be open about it. But
of course.
How do I describe my mindset at the time? That's really difficult to explain, because it was full of self-doubt and
so after uni do you think it kind of, you said at uni you were getting a lot of feedback, everyone was encouraging you, had a lot of confidence, and then you came out, and did it all just drop?
Well, no, I had anxiety when I was at college. I mean, I was, super confident in my editing and all that, but on a personal lifestyle level, my anxiety started around when I went to college. And it just got worse over time, and I didn't really do anything about it for the first year or so. I mean, I went to see a therapist, but I didn't do anything about it.
I'd say that's something.
Yeah, no, I mean, as in like, the therapist gives you tools to handle it, and I wasn't using those tools.
What was your reason for that?
Laziness, because it was easier to just stay in bed and not do anything.
Really?
Yeah. I think part laziness, and I was scared as well, because those tools were, you have to do, the thing that gives you anxiety.
You have to confront it.
Yeah. And I didn't want to do that. Who wants to do that? Who wants to put them in a position where they're going to be uncomfortable or scared or painful,
Well, I think the more you learn in life is that's what you have to do to grow as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. And eat your beans, your green beans.
Yeah, it's healthy, you got to be healthy. So, okay.
No, because green beans make you grow taller. And you said grow as a person.
There you go.
Okay, let's move on.
Knowledge. So you're saying at uni you didn't really confront it. So after, not uni, college, afterwards, did you?
No.
No.
Did I confront it? No. For the next year, I didn't do much. I was digging deeper into an anxiety hole.
Yeah.
And I spent most of my days in my bedroom not doing much.
That's the problem, isn't it? It's like if you just leave it, it can very easily just get worse and worse.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't just go outside and do something, confront anything.
Were you literally stuck in your room?
Yeah, pretty much for a good while.
What was the thing that kicked you out of it then?
Well,
we'll start. Obviously, kicked you out of it might be a bit of a big term, but what was the thing that got you making your first steps forward?
Well, I got a lot of support from my family, and I didn't want to let them down, which was a reason for me to, I have to do something about it. So that kind of pulled me out a little bit, and then I got a girlfriend, and so
smile just came on your face as you said that,
and I didn't want to be the kind of boyfriend, that didn't do anything or, just stayed at home and did nothing. I wanted to, share things with her and do things with her and not be that guy that, you hear about sometimes like, he does nothing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you get a girlfriend without getting out your room?
Good looks and Tinder.
But did that force you to get out your room then, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, so
assume you had to go on a date.
Yeah, I told her about my anxiety, and she was very understanding about it. And I told her, I'm not necessarily, looking for anything, but, and all this is going on in my life. And she still wanted to meet up after I told her that. So I said, okay, let's do it.
So shout out to Carolina. She's
Portuguese
Carolina. Yeah, so she's the one that got you out of your room. That's awesome.
Well, I told her this, and whenever I tell her this, she says, no, I didn't do anything, but she doesn't know how much, she did.
Well done, Carolina. Smashing it. Did you do anything more to kind of push forwards on the step? Did you start, were you still using a therapist at the time?
So I had a therapist so I stopped therapy and then went back into therapy. I had a therapist for, I want to say 5 months or something like 5-6 months, every Friday.
And did you actually start doing what they told you to do, basically?
Yeah. I
well done.
We do it in baby steps. So, kind of first step is to go outside your room and go for a walk. Second step is, stuff that makes you more and more anxious, essentially, and just confront it and keep a journal, diary type thing. And I was doing all of those things. And I was going out and being a bit more social. And
would you set yourself like small goals and you just kind of had to achieve them?
Every week I'd have something to do with her, and that I think that really helped.
And then they just slowly grew. And I think that's the same with anything. With the thing is, for a lot of people, like the anxiety, well, you might feel at the time saying, "Oh, I can't leave my room," might feel irrational for a lot of people. But in the same way, it's kind of like the same feeling almost of the things that terrify you now that are normal fears.
Yeah, more rational fears, or that seem rational. Yeah.
So, I don't know, for example, for someone who wants to...
Public speaking
is a perfect example. A lot of people get anxiety about that.
Yeah.
And it's the same way that you have to confront those two things in the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. But you just have to do it, confront it.
But the difference is with, you know, social anxiety or anything like that, is that if you want to lead a somewhat normal life, you actually have to confront it.
Yeah. I mean, you can go, you know, throughout your life without, you know, giving a speech in front of a crowd. That's, you know, plausible.
It's very easy to avoid.
Yeah. But you can't live your life not, you know, being able to take a bus or go on a train or.
Well, it'd be very difficult too.
Yeah. Or like, you know, do any social interaction. So, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think you learned a lot from that whole experience? You're just coming back to trying to have like a more normal life?
Yeah. I mean, it taught me that, you know, the more you do something, the more you'll get used to it. And it's not that scary in the end. And it taught me how to ride, as therapists like to say, ride the wave of anxiety. You know, how to, you can't, you know, you're not there to defeat it. You're there to ride it. So it taught me how to go with the flow of things and just kind of, you know,
accept it.
Yeah. Not think about the past or the future and just kind of live in the now.
Be in that moment.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you think you've managed to apply those techniques in your life today in other areas?
Yeah. So, you know, when you have a job, you know, you can get stressed out and kind of meditating and just not thinking about, I mean, obviously you have to think about your deadline and stuff like that, but just kind of taking a breather and just being like, oh, it's going to be okay. You know, stuff like that. Yeah.
Excellent. We went on a fairly big tangent there, but I think it's always important to talk about that. So,
Carol, bringing back all the memories.
What's going on? That's good. So you started like building more self-confidence. Carolina got you out your room and you carried on building. At what point did you start thinking like, okay, I need to start moving forward in my life again? Obviously you were moving forward throughout this, but like you got to more of a
stable,
inverted commas, normal kind of life. You're acting.
Yeah. So I was still, I mean, getting out of that kind of anxiety hole took a long while, took around like 2 years, I'd say, to kind of, you know,
to feel actually quite stable.
Yeah, normal. Because I wasn't doing, to be honest, I wasn't doing much for those 2 years. I mean, I have jobs, small jobs here and there and stuff, but nothing too notable.
I think your main focus was just like sorting yourself out.
Yeah.
Sorting your head out, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting, you know, stuff sorted out in my head. But yeah, I was still kind of testing out the waters and, you know, I still had quite a lot of self-doubt, but I got a job at as a kitchen porter in a pub.
Just down the road from your house,
wasn't it? Yeah. And that was, you know, for me, it was a test to see, like, can I have a job? You know, can I, as a human being, you know, have the mental capacity to hold down a job? Because, I mean, anxiety makes you think these weird things.
I know, mate. I've been there. Don't worry about it.
You know, will I just, you know, have a job and just freak out or something? You know, I needed to, and so I started as a kitchen porter and that went great. And I kind of liked it.
Sometimes. So that was a big step for you then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving
That was just like, okay.
Was it full time?
Part-time. Yeah.
How many days were you doing a week?
3-4 days, depending.
That was a big move from not doing anything.
From just, being in my room all day to actually doing some work. And yeah, so that was really like, the job going really well kind of made me feel, okay, you can have a job, you can do,
gave you that confidence.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that for a few months, and during those few months I was working there, I started working for Teralon part-time as well, doing bits and pieces.
So this is where Teralon started to grow a bit more.
Yeah.
And how did that really come about with Julian? Did he offer it to you, or like what was the conversation like?
So he never told me that, he wanted me to work at Teralon.
Okay.
When I think about it now, he just kind of one day came into my room and said, "Hey, do you want to edit this for us? Because we don't have the time or something."
Okay.
I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll edit it.
Why not?
Why not?" I remember what it was. It was the Queen Mary award ceremony videos, which are very laborious videos. JK, Queen Mary. No, it was a very big project. So there were a lot of videos to do, and I think they were, either
overwhelmed.
Yeah,
with the amount of work they had to do for it.
And so Julian approached me and said, because I had a lot of time on my hands, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll do that for you. And so I did that, and along the way, he taught me a few things that,
Did he pay you for that first video?
Yes, he did.
Good.
He did.
I was just making sure, because I was just saying, Julian, that's harsh, but
yeah. No,
good job.
He gave me a nice bag of peanuts.
That's very clever.
He gave me a nice paycheck. So I learned a few things doing that, because he kind of told me how they edit videos at Teralon, because I had my own way.
Sure.
But Teralon had their own way, and you kind of have to follow a system when you're working for a company.
Sure.
Editing videos, you can't just kind of,
Okay, so yeah, because I guess you were previously making a lot of fun videos.
Yeah.
Again, you kind of
short films as well. Just
maybe a little mad on the special effects, like you do, because it's your own creative style, and that's what you enjoy.
Yeah.
But when you go into a more of a professional setting, you had to kind of learn what a more kind of corporate, if I'm going to put it in virtual, way to edit videos was.
Yeah, so the Teralon, we edit a lot of corporate things, so it's a completely different way of editing.
What are the main kind of differences that you had to learn? What were like the main things that you learned?
So I mean, the first thing that I had to learn was folder management. Yeah. Because you back up these things on different hard drives, and you have different people maybe want to access the project, so you have to have a good folder management and a really good structure, so everybody else can find their way if they need to
easily,
look at it. Yeah,
you can't just have everything messily. But organized, but because that's the way it's meant to be.
So the first thing, I guess, is organization, just in general, with editing. And then the second thing I had to learn was, whenever I'd made films, I would experiment, I'd try out things, and that's all good. But when you're doing something corporate, you can experiment to a certain extent, but nothing too wild.
Sure. So,
you're not going to try a new color grade that's like, oh, it's really cool, teal and orange. You're not going to put that on an interview or something. Like, it's stupid, but you can't really go all out on those kind of things.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to pull back a little bit.
Pull back.
Yeah.
Were you still doing personal projects at this time then? Yeah.
So since I was in my bedroom a lot, I started doing animation with After Effects and stop motion animation again, and cool. Just kind of smaller, but still related to film in some way.
Yeah, so while you were basically, stuck in your room, let's say, or even after you got the job, were you still making films throughout this whole time as well?
I tried. It was, obviously difficult because
You weren't going out.
Yeah, if you're not going out, you can't really meet anybody and you can't really do anything. But yeah, no, I made, with college, I made a few things, and
But after it, really.
Yeah, after. I didn't really film much. Yeah, no, I wasn't really filming much.
Is that where you were getting into more animation stuff?
Yeah, that's when I started tinkering with. I was always interested in the animation part as well, but I kind of focused more on it because I had time on my hands, and I just thought might as well do something and learn something.
At least you were actually doing something and you had something to focus on.
Yeah.
Because as you say, like, it can spiral out of control very quickly. At least I felt you were clinging on to some sort of purpose or something in a way that kept you going.
Afloat
From the sound of things. No, that's really good.
Yeah.
So Julian offers you this first project, and did that just slowly start happening a little bit more and more?
Yeah, very slowly over the period of a year, so from 2018 to 2019.
Sure.
He started giving more and more work to do, and I think when I really started working a lot for Teralon is when we started doing the documentary for Ineos.
Sure.
Eliud Kipchoge. And so I think I was doing that and working at the pub at the same time. So I then quit the pub.
So did it literally get to the point where you didn't have time?
Yeah, well, it just got too tiring because I'd work at the pub from, 10 a.m. to about 1 in the morning. I'd get home about 2 in the morning.
Those are long shifts, 10 to 1.
Wait, a double shift.
What was the break in the
Yeah, you'd have like an hour or 2 hour break in the middle and then go back to work. Or I'd start at like 3 p.m. and work until like 1 a.m. If it wasn't a double. But more often you do double shifts. And then I was the next day editing with Julian or
GDP absolutely knackered, and
I was pretty tired a lot of the time. I am tired a lot still today.
Sleep's very important.
This is what being an adult means.
Well, I think
it's tiredness.
I've always needed a lot of sleep personally.
Yeah.
8
hours and hydration.
Freddie doesn't fall asleep in the middle of team meetings. What?
That has never happened.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I was really struggling, to find a balance between those two jobs. So I just quit the pub and started working kind of part-time. I was freelancing for Teralon.
Basically.
Yeah.
How many days a week were you really doing for Teralon?
At the beginning, maybe 2, and then it progressed on to 3, and then 4.
When you quit, was it
the pub?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3, 4 days for Teralon. Yeah.
Did you ever think about, because obviously you were freelancing for Teralon at the time, and you weren't a full-time employee. Did you ever consider trying to like reach out to anyone else to see if you could like add more work, or did it already feel like the work you were doing for Teralon was too much?
Yeah, no, I did want to do more work, so I'd go on websites like Fiverr, Upwork, and all those websites, and try and
online freelancing websites, basically.
Yeah, and trying to find more work, because I was still like, really scared to go out and talk to anybody about working for them.
Was that from an anxiety point of view?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is still quite a big step. Even though you had all that confidence from the pub, you said, why was that not enough to get you to reach out? Is it
because it's something I want to do? Because it was something that I wanted to do, or I want to do. I can't, you have this pressure of you can't mess it up, and it puts that extra weight on your shoulders, and you want to do good and do well, and
it's that fear of rejection.
Yeah,
I've definitely felt that in the past.
Yeah,
it's
this podcast is about me, not you, Santi.
I do apologise. Sorry, Freddie.
I thought this was me time.
Yeah, it is you time. Back to you, Freddie.
No. We can talk about you, Santi.
No.
How did that make you feel?
Well, I just said I felt like you at the time.
Oh, so I felt like you as well.
Yeah, good. Okay. I'm glad we're both
on a
on
mutual connection.
I'm glad we're both on the same page. Yeah. So you were basically too afraid to reach out.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd still? Obviously now you're at full time at Teralon, so
Yeah.
that's not something you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But do you think today that would still be something you'd struggle with?
It would be a challenge, absolutely. That was I guess the most nerve-wracking thing for me, or the thing that gives me the most anxiety is, asking to work for people, going to job interviews and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough.
So that is, still something that I struggle with, or I would struggle with if I needed to. But yeah.
Okay, these jobs kept on coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Ineos kind of grew.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's kind of at the point where I joined.
Yeah.
Part-time.
Yeah.
And then recently we both went full-time.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, nice one. Nice job, Freddie.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
Little do they know our secrets.
What are our secrets? I'm not sure what secrets you're on about. Oh dear. Yeah. I think that basically rounds us up to today.
Yeah.
We're all caught up on your life, Freddie.
Yeah. I didn't make any editing puns.
No.
No.
Do you want to share some now?
Yeah.
Go on.
Do you want to ask me why I decided to become
An editor.
an editor?
Was this something you planned?
Yes. But I'd never had the choice because I was a bit nervous, and then I forgot, and then I got pressure, and
Okay, right, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Freddie, so what made you want to become an editor?
Well, to cut a long story short.
Oh dear, this is actually... No, you're so happy with that one. You told me... Just so everyone knows, Freddie constantly makes terrible puns 24/7 in the office, and it is a struggle.
I think they're pretty good.
Well, yeah, just like that.
That actually reminds me of when you asked me the question about did I go for any jobs? I actually did go for a job interview.
Oh, back onto serious
for
topics. Here we go.
Editing, yeah, but I didn't make the cut.
Oh, really? Oh dear. Oh, you so got me on that one. You so got me. Did you actually do that, or you?
No, that was just for the fun.
Do you people out there understand what I have to deal with?
What do you mean by you people?
I don't know. Anyone
Why are you calling our audience you people?
Would you say that's disrespectful?
I think so.
Okay. Right. I don't know. Is there like a kind of dream project, if there was no restrictions or anything, that you would want to work on?
A dream project.
If there was some ideal thing that you would want to create or be a part of?
I think about that quite a lot actually, and it changes quite often because I always get into these, I always get these ideas of stuff that I really want to do and projects that I want to do. At the moment, it's animation. I'm really into animation.
Yeah.
So I'd really love to work with a team of animators, just learning from them, how they do these.
That's just to learn. Yeah, because obviously you're now. Well, we bought a course for you. Well, I didn't personally. I'm going to say we because it sounds better.
Santi.
We at Teralon bought an animation course for you as you want to develop your skills.
Yeah. Animating skills, because it's quite useful as an editor, you have to make yourself, indispensable for companies. And a lot of people can edit and know how to edit. But if you know how to animate as well and use After Effects and all these different tools, then it makes you a bit more indispensable. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, definitely, because I know that for myself, After Effects is something that I kind of look at and go not for me.
Yeah.
So
it can be quite complicated.
But yeah, if it's something, especially if you enjoy it, it's it's great to add to the toolkit.
Yeah.
But in terms of a project, maybe is it a particular kind of animation that you'd want to do, or what would you really like?
More specifically,
yeah,
I'm really into logo animations, so logo intros and stuff like that.
Which is what specifically the course you're doing?
It's more specifically the course that I'm enrolled in, and
logo animation.
And so I'd love to kind of just work on a project that required a creative logo animation.
Okay, so it's not necessarily when I was trying to ask that question, I don't know, I guess it's different. So like if I was asking like a filmmaker that question, it'd probably be like, I don't know, for me personally, it'd be like something, I don't know, being on top of a mountain, some sort of like documentary style with like traveling, mountains, hiking, that kind of stuff, where it's a bit different when you're editing maybe, or is there some kind of genre or thing that you particularly enjoy?
Editing.
Yeah, or that, you know, that would be your like dream thing to edit.
So yeah, I would love to edit wildlife documentary.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That would be interesting, I think. Because I think it'd be really challenging in terms of like, how do you pace a wildlife documentary in terms of the edit?
So what, like a Nat Geo kind of?
Yeah. How do you keep people interested? How do you, when do you cut? At what point do you cut? Because, animals are, I'm used to cutting humans. I'm used to,
that kind of storyline.
Yeah. But with animals, how do you construct a story around them?
Yeah.
So that's and make it interesting.
So that's more from like a challenge point of view.
Yeah. But it will also be
quite cool.
So it'd be a project I would like to, because it's challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any particular kind of animals that you'd like to?
Sloth.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to edit a sloth. Like that would be even more challenging.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
How do you make a sloth interesting? But they are quite interesting and cute.
Yeah. It's like the whole David Attenborough things. I know they definitely do that very well. Like the story, like the little micro narratives that happen.
Yeah. I think
between them.
We would have to have a good narrator, I think, if we were to do a sloth.
Do you think you'd be good at that, Freddie?
Narrating.
For a sloth, go on, give us your sloth narration voice. Good quality. Wow.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh dear.
And the sloth moved on.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Peacefully.
Yeah, I think you did it. Okay. Especially with these mics, it makes your voice sound so nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. How would you attack the edit? How would you approach it? If as a challenge, like to create that kind of story?
To be honest, that would all depend on, I think, what footage I'm working with.
Sure.
I guess so. Like with the sloth, I wouldn't mind making it quite a slow paced edit. So like making the shots like last quite a while, and just kind of looking at the sloth being lazy sloth, and just having a voiceover. So it'd be quite an easy edit, I guess. But you could also overcomplicate it and think, I need to make this really interesting. But you don't. You just let the sloth be,
Let the sloth be, let it be chill.
Yeah, let it be chill, and let the edit be chill as well, kind of to reflect this sloth's character.
What do you think are some of the toughest challenges you've had to go through whilst learning editing, or like becoming a video editor?
Keeping track, I think.
Of?
Everything. Yeah, so, editing, you have to talk to clients a lot. And you have to keep track of, what they've said, what they want. You have to keep track of how many edits you've made. You have to keep track of just a variety of different things. So yeah, keeping track.
And how do you approach keeping track then?
Writing them down, having a note system.
So what, like a notepad, or you use online tools?
We have Trello.
Is that what you actually? Oh yeah. Trello's.
I use Trello and I use written things and written.
Mainly Trello.
Yeah, Trello for the projects, but then if it's smaller reminders, I'll use my notepad to keep track. And every day I look at my emails and go back in the history of emails, and so yeah, it's just a lot of keeping track of stuff.
That's clearly something to do with clients and stuff that you find challenging. Is there anything in terms of actually like workflow of the actual editing, or maybe something that you worked out as you know, doing a long period of time, which is quite a big breakthrough, which made your edits a lot better.
Okay, yeah. So Guy told me once that I held on shots for too long when there was nothing of interest, and I never really thought about why am I holding on to this shot for so long and there's nothing on the screen that's really adds anything to the story. So that tip really that was really satisfying to say. Tip. That really helped me trim a lot of the fat on off of my edits that didn't need to be. And because we work for a lot of corporate, we do a lot of corporate videos and we do a lot of social media videos, we don't need any of that fat. So yeah, that just small tip made a huge difference.
So how long would you say like a good amount of time for a shot, for like just a standard shot? We're not talking about sloths here.
Yeah, no, there's not a sloth shot. How?
Because obviously, I guess it depends on the kind of video.
Yeah, that really depends on the video. But if it's a kind of like a 1 minute video for like an event or something, and a lot of stuff happened during that event, and you have a lot of footage of that event. I mean, usually I go along with the music, but I do 1 beat, 1 shot.
Okay.
Or 1 beat, 2 shots.
Okay, so sometimes you'll have
sometimes it's even faster, or 2 beats, 1 shot. So it kind of plays along with the song.
As a general rule of thumb.
Yeah, I never usually leave it any longer than, unless something really interesting is happening on the screen and you want it, and the client wants it. But yeah, if it's a quick edit like that, I'll do change them quite quickly. And we think that it's too fast while you're editing it, but when you rewatch it, it's like, okay, actually I got, you catch glimpses of it and your brain can register. I mean, it's more difficult if you do that with wide shots where there's a lot of information and you have to leave it on for a bit longer. So that will be the 2 beat.
Okay.
So yeah, or like if it's close-ups and it's someone's face that's, in the crowd and you're focusing on someone's face, but they're not someone super important. You just want to show that there was someone there so I would put like a sequence of, half beat shots of like stuff like that.
That's quite interesting little tip there, Freddie.
Yeah.
So for stuff that, I mean, when you say it sounds very obvious, but for stuff that has a lot of information, you can leave it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Stuff that, like tighter shots, which is very obvious, that those are the stuff that you can like beat through quickly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like I've learned something there. What's your workflow generally from start to finish on a video? On like trying to be as efficient as possible.
So from the point that I get the footage, I have a software that creates a folder hierarchy for me. So I don't have to go create folders and folders and subfolders and subfolders. So that it's all done automatically.
Would you like to say what it's called?
I don't know if I want to give all my secrets away though.
There might be an affiliate link in the description.
It's called Post Haste. And you basically create a template of folders and then you can just kind of press a button and it just does everything for you. And that's also really useful because we keep a backup of all of our footage. And so having a folder hierarchy for all of that is just easier to then find the footage and whatnot. So then I put all the footage into, all the stuff that I need. So the footage, the logos, the introduction, music, sound effects. Well, actually, I have to look for music as well. So I get all the footage and then I try and figure out what kind of edit it's going to be. And so I like to pick a song before I start usually editing. Really? Yeah.
I usually do the opposite. Personally.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, I just like to have it while I'm looking at the footage. Going over the footage, I like to know what song I'm going to use for it. So I have like ideas of already how I'm going to, put it together.
Sure.
So I look for a song and then I'll review all the footage. I'll just quickly at a glance go through. If it's time sensitive, I'll quickly go through it in the, on the projects panel and just quickly kind of at a glance, just go through all of those. And then if it's not time sensitive, I'll actually put them in a timeline. And
everything.
And then just kind of go through and like delete stuff that wasn't like mistakes and whatever, and stuff that I want. And
just putting it into the timeline actually make it a lot longer to do generally.
Because if you have more time, you can go over the footage more and see like if there was a better shot or something. So it just takes a longer time, but you get better shots and better results from it if you do it that way. You can still get good results by looking at it in the projects panel. Then I push a button and then it's all done. It's all edited there. No, it depends on the project and what kind of video we're making. If it's an interview, are we going into specifics?
It depends if you fancy.
Yeah, so each kind of, if it's like an interview video, it'll be different because I'll have the interviews. So I have to look at the interviews and cut those up, and then put them on the timeline, put the B-roll over, and then put some background music on, and then it can be quite fast. If it's an event video with no interviews, then that can take a while because it has to be fast cuts of shots. So you have to choose a lot of shots, and you want to choose all the shots you want in there. You want to be good shots or effective shots because you want maybe branding and stuff like that in them. So
nice.
Yeah. So then you do all that. Put the music, you color grading, effects, and all that at the very end.
Do you usually use a LUT for color?
Yeah, usually because we don't have time to mess about with color grading or finding, a color
like very
grade.
Specific color grades. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have time because we pump out that. I do color correct.
Yeah.
Then I just throw a LUT over. Yeah. Core LUTs.
And that usually gives very good results. What kind of LUTs are
they? So they are LUTs for the A7. He made them for the A7S. They're Velocore.
And Velocore.
Yeah. And I don't know if he made them for the A7S. He made them for the Sony A series, I think. And they're just really good, really effective, and Excellent. They look good on. Yeah.
Do you have like certain goals or a certain lifestyle that you want to aspire to having, or what?
So in terms of goals,
what do you want out of life, Freddie?
In terms of more immediate goals, I want to grow with Teralon. I want to see, Teralon become something, bigger, like a hub for filmmakers and editors, and I want this to grow.
Yeah.
Now, what I want out of life, I just want to be successful enough to give my dog the garden he deserves. And I'm not joking. Like I don't want a big house. I don't want, I just want a big garden and full of dogs.
That is amazing. Yeah. I love that.
That's all I want.
Literally, it's just the garden. So how many dogs do you want?
Depends on how much I'm allowed.
By who? Carolina?
Well,
in theory.
I mean, she would probably want more than me.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was thinking.
I'd say a good number would be like three dogs. Yeah.
Would you look after them all the time, or would you have a?
I'd try. If I have dogs, I would try and take care of them all the time.
Is this something when you're retired you can just spend all your time with your dogs in your garden?
This makes me sad. Think about retirement. I can only I don't know.
How old are you? You're 26, aren't you?
25. 26 in a month. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
What would you say makes you feel most inspired or really gets you into like a creative flow? Or like what kind of things, or who inspires you? I think that's two different questions, isn't it?
Yeah. What inspires me and who inspires
Firstly,
me?
I'm going to say what inspires you.
What gets me inspired?
What gets you revved up?
Friends. I think friends that are in the film industry, and when I see them doing something really cool, it inspires me to do something really cool as well. More so than anybody, any kind of personality or someone who I know and does something cool is like that's inspiring, and I want to do something like that.
That shows a lot about surrounding yourself with people that do things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular you want to shout out? You don't want to shout at your brother, do you?
Or I can shout out my brother. He's doing all right. No, I think, Julian and Guy, I think when they started doing their Teralon thing, I was inspired to do better because they were doing these amazing videos, or I thought they were amazing. They might have been bad, but I thought they were really good. I think it was part jealousy because I was like, I want to do, this is really cool and I'm not doing this cool. But it was also motivating and inspiring that it's like, okay, I want to do like them. I want to do, be as good as them and stuff like that.
And now you're right in the meat of it.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in particular or other friends that you have?
A friend of mine called Daniel. He recently made a short film series, and I just think it's cool the way he had to get funding for the short film and stuff like that. And I just thought it was, the whole project was cool. The short film's not out. I haven't seen it yet, but I thought that the fact that he was reaching out to people and asking for funding, and I think he got all the funding he needed for the project. And I thought that was very inspiring.
From those two examples you gave me, what it kind of shows is that you're inspired by people who are kind of going out there and actually trying to create something for themselves.
Yeah.
Does that make you ever want to do something for yourself? Like create like a certain project or...
For myself? Yeah, absolutely. There are, I've always, been passionate about making short films and stuff like that. Short films is something that I would like to do for myself.
Is this stuff that you would film yourself or get someone else to film?
No, I would do the filming. Or, I wouldn't... It would have to be the most relaxed filming environment. Because
good luck.
Thank you. Because if I, started filming and get really stressed out, I would lose, the passion for it. And it's just something that I just want to do it laid back, just like chilled out.
What kind of short films?
I like suspense.
Yeah.
So I like making like really short films, like I'm talking like maybe 3 minutes. Short films, short attention span films. I really like suspense, kind of like indie horror type thing.
Have you made quite a few of these in the past?
Yeah, I made a few.
Yeah. What would make you go out there and
do it again?
Yeah.
Time. Yeah. And just I'm tired a lot. So if I can find a way to wake up.
What about a weekend project?
Yeah, could be.
Maybe.
Is this a therapy session?
I don't know. Could be.
Yeah, no, it would be. But it's just at the moment I'm trying to figure out how to balance full-time work with, other things. I don't have a lot of time to myself, and I have a beautiful girlfriend to take care of, have. I don't know how you say it.
To spend time with.
Yeah.
To pay attention to.
That was so easily said. So I have a girlfriend I have to spend time with.
That I enjoy paying attention to and having a wonderful time with Freddie.
Yeah, no. So I have personal life stuff to do, and
I guess it's all about priorities and what's important for you at certain
balancing
stages of your life.
I'm figuring stuff out.
Everyone is.
Yeah,
awesome.
Always.
Lovely note to end on.
TED Talk over. Thank you for coming.
So this is now the next part of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we asked right just before we started filming on Instagram if anyone had any questions. So we'll see if anyone's actually asked a question in the last hour or so. We've recorded this. Hopefully I don't butcher any Instagram handles anymore.
King Legend.
King Legend, I'm really sorry. I do apologise, but anyway.
Thank you, King Legend, for your previous questions.
Oh, I'm struggling with too many bits in it. Marie-Louise Dardenne.
Yes, that's my stepsister.
Ah.
Very well said, by the way.
Thank you. Well, her question is, do you like your sister?
Yes, I love my sister.
Very good. Well answered. All right. Be awkward if you didn't.
It's like, shit, I really wish you didn't ask that question.
Okay, so Fine Scarlett asked, who is your favourite podcaster? At David Brick is mine. That's what she says.
Who's my favourite podcaster?
Yes.
I don't think I have one, but if Sean Evans
Okay.
from Hot Ones. He might have one.
That is his podcast.
It's not a podcast.
Hot Ones is a podcast.
It's an interview.
It's a podcast, mate.
It's an interview / It's not live or anything.
This is an interview. This isn't live. It's a podcast.
No, it's.
Are you joking?
No. He's even said it on a podcast that it's not a podcast. He was on a podcast with can't remember his name. Franco, whatever.
Okay.
That it was like it wasn't really a podcast. It was more of an interview type thing.
Okay, I'll allow it.
But anyway, so yeah, Sean Evans.
So you're
Podcast.
you're now saying that something's not a podcast is your favourite podcast. So you've just
No, but if he
done
had
yourself in on that one, haven't you?
If he had a podcast, that's what I said.
Okay, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Flame-haired lady.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Good. Says, what's the colour of your mankini, Freddie? Have you ever worn a mankini? I don't know the relevance to this question.
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Are you just going to leave that?
Yep.
As it is?
Yep.
I'm sorry, we can't give any more detail. I have no idea what's going on here. Do you watch other editors' work to get inspiration?
I mean, I do watch like a lot of editing YouTube channels and people like talking about how to, who work, tips and tricks for editing stuff, I guess maybe. But no, I don't really. I mean, literally, I don't watch other editors' work, but I guess I watch editing stuff. Yeah.
Is there any people you particularly want to shout out that have helped you?
This guy edits on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's quite good. And then Tip Tuts for After Effects.
Okay.
He's quite good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Who's that question by? Who's it from?
Flame-haired lady.
I thought it was my mankini.
Well, she gave us another one.
Oh, right. Okay. 2 in 1.
Sorry. Yeah, that was by the flame-haired lady as well.
Okay.
Maggie, 1008,
Yeah.
says, do you find it easy to work during the day or the night?
At night, because I feel like I'm more productive at night for whatever reason. And during the day, I am tired. So, yeah, at night.
But at night, you don't get tired. Is that how it works?
No, I do get tired, but I just feel more productive. Like if I want to work, my brain feels more wired.
I found that is that you get more into the flow of things late at night and you just in your zone.
You just like can do it.
Even though we work here during the day, but hey.
We should work here at night.
So Maggie's asked another one. She says, if you were a dog, which breed would you be?
Golden Retriever, 100%.
Anything particular that you love about Golden Retrievers compared to other dogs?
They don't suck.
you slating every other dog?
No, they're fine. Golden Retrievers are better.
Okay. I'll leave it at that. She's got another question about dogs. Maggie's on it.
Keep them coming.
I assume it's probably the same, but which dog's the most photogenic?
Golden Retriever.
Yeah, I thought that. Julian Wake. Big up, Julian. Here's your favourite brother.
Wait, what did he say in his podcast? Because I asked the same question.
Have you not listened to his podcast yet?
I didn't know it was out.
It's been out for a little while now.
Really?
Actually, it was out till Saturday I released it.
Oh, that's not that long. You didn't say anything.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Who is my favorite brother?
Yes.
The one I never had.
Brutal.
I'm joking.
He was actually quite nice to you.
Was he? Oh.
We can now move on from that question.
I thought he was going to be really mean, so I was like, I'm going to go right back at it with a chicken wing.
Tom Joy, he says, I want dirt on Julian. Horrible dirt, dirty dirt. PG friendly, please.
PG friendly. Okay. If you want dirt on Julian, why don't you go throw some on him? I thought that deserved that one.
No. Oh dear. Right. Anyway. Go on. I'm sure you got like a childhood story, which is quite funny.
I don't know. Like he used to wet his bed or something. I don't know. I don't have any dirt on my brother.
I'm sorry, Tom.
He's too clean.
He's too clean.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
Have you seen his hands? Clean.
Guy V. Ellis.
Yes.
What's it like working with your brother?
I didn't know Guy considered me as a brother.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right. It's chill as long as you know where the boundaries are and you know how you don't take the Mickey.
Yeah.
I think you'll be all right. You just have to kind of set it as, I mean, of course it's a bit more relaxed because, he's my brother, but as long as you know where you stand and where he stands.
Where the line is.
Yeah.
So you do your best not to cross that line. Well done.
Exactly.
Very professional, Freddie. So Miss C. Neves, so I'm assuming that's Carolina.
Don't know who that is.
What was the first video you ever edited? So we know that was your stop motion video.
Yeah.
I think she's got a couple. She also asks, how does music affect an edit? And is it you or your clients that pick songs?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, music, obviously makes an edit completely different depending on the song that you choose. Because if you cut your edit to the beat, it'll change the flow. It'll make it slower or faster. And also the emotion in the song, completely change. So it could go from sad to happy to whatever emotion you can think of, anger. So I pick the songs usually.
Yeah.
99% of the time I pick the songs, but they can say they don't like the songs, so I have to pick another one. But yeah, I usually...
Generally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the song.
you get trusted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I guess they don't see the song as this super important thing, just as long as it fits the edit, it's fine.
Sure. And now we've got Dan Vernon's photo, which is inappropriate. So I think that's it for the end of the Instagram questions.
Cool.
We actually got a fair amount. Thank you, everyone, for sending them in.
Thank you. Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you. Yeah. Smashed it.
Thank you, flaming red-haired lady.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, dear.
When you run out of stuff to say, yep, thank you.
Oh, I think I'm tired. I'm tired. It's late.
Your coffee is crashing right now.
Yeah, it seriously is. Like at the beginning of this podcast, I was like through the roof.
No, you're on a proper down now.
No, but I think we've had a really solid chat. Thank you, Freddie, for being so open and giving us such good content.
You're welcome.
That's all right. No, I've really enjoyed this chat, and I think,
Me too.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Can I leave now?
Not yet.
Oh,
Nearly. I want to say thank you, everyone, for listening, and I hope you enjoyed Freddie's wonderful story and everything, all his beautiful words. Stop! What are you pressing? I don't know what you're up to.
The applause.
Go on, which one is it? Hey! There we go. So subscribe. Please subscribe. We need subscribers. It would be really nice if you did that. Also, yeah, we've got a couple more podcasts coming up. Apparently I'm getting interviewed by Julian and Guy tomorrow. But the edit, we'll release them a bit more slowly. And then we've also got Freelancers Friday, I think. But
it's going to be interesting.
But yeah, we'll probably take a bit of time to edit those as we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. We'd also really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think we're done here. Awesome. See you later.
Goodbye. Thank you, Santi.
Au revoir.
Thank you, YouTube and the world.
Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Did I say subscribe?
You did.
Right, I'm out of here. Bye.
Is this reality or am I pretending? That was poetry, huh?